welcome back to another Renee's Corner video. I'm today's Renee, and today we are going to be doing a January recap. So I feel like a lot of stuff has happened, and I feel like, have you ever like seen somebody like get on a treadmill and then they started at like 14 speed and it just like takes off? That's how I feel like January went, and like it's already February. It's like February 4th or 5th, but I just feel like this month has really flown by. So at the beginning of the month, I came back to St. Louis. It was a good trip. My mom and I drove back from Virginia with Nehemiah, and it was pretty good. Nothing really exciting happened there. I think being home for as long as I was really good for me. And I think I just really needed a break from being in St. Louis. And so yeah, I had a great time at home, and then I came back. My mom stayed here for a couple of days, and then she went back to Virginia. I feel like the transition from being on break and like being around my family all the time to coming back to St. Louis and being like here by myself was like a little rough. Like I feel like for a couple of days I was really sad. I think just because I'm here by myself, and like the reality of me being here by myself really like set in. And so I was like, I don't know, a little needy and a little sad during that time. But once school started to pick up, I think that really helps me sort of like push down those feelings of being alone, because I'm so busy. So it's really a good balance. Let's see what else has happened. So I'm gonna like chunk these things into like categories. So first of all, in my like outpatient therapy world, things are going good. I've had some really good sessions, and like I actually, like some days I'm like, yes, I am actually a therapist. Other days I'm like, oh my god, what am I doing? But I really, these last couple of weeks, and I've had some really good sessions that I'm super proud of. And like, I don't know, sometimes like on YouTube when you watch therapy sessions, like they're old men and they're very quiet and it's not very like relational, and I just feel like I'm really coming into my style of being a therapist, and so I feel really good about that. What else? So then I'll chunk, like the next chunk is like admissions. So I don't know if I've ever talked about this except for briefly, but I am the admissions assistant for my program. And so I help with just scheduling, logistics, and making sure that things run smoothly in a perfect world, and answering questions of applicants and phone calls if I ever get them, things like that. But this year we didn't really get many emails or phone calls, so I hadn't really been doing much. And then in a normal world, I would just help like prepare for the interview weekend and like make sure people are scheduled, make sure people have places to stay, etc. But this year we did them all virtual because of COVID, and so that posed a bigger hurdle than it would be to like just regular scheduling. Just getting not just like the applicants their materials, but making sure all the faculty knew where they were supposed to be, how we were running it. There's just like a lot of little pieces that needed to be solved, and yeah, it was like a huge puzzle, and eventually we got it together. So what else did I do? I created a tour video of our building using some footage that I got from another student and then footage that I shot, which turned out really cute. I'm proud of it. It's not like necessarily my style of video that I like to do, but it turned out really well. I also did a video slideshow of like grad students having fun, that video just gives me the warm fuzzies. Like every time I watch it, I'm like, wow, I really love being in this program. I really think that my classmates are some of the most amazing people on earth, and so I'm just so glad to have them, and like that video highlights that for me. So then I scheduled everybody's interviews, student interviews, and basically student interviews are times where applicants can ask questions to students about basically anything being a grad student at SLU. And so I scheduled all of those, and I coordinated social events for, this is getting really long, but I also coordinated social events for every night of interviews. So we have 4 days of interviews. You don't have to interview all 4 days, but basically there's 4 nights of social events that I've coordinated and put together. We're using Gather Towns. It's so cute. If you have not used Gather Towns to have like an event, I highly recommend it. It's really chaotic at first, but once you learn it a little bit, it's so great. So we've been doing that, and I also coordinated with the Social Justice Committee, which I'm also a part of and on the leadership team, so that we can invite all the applicants to come to our social justice meeting, so that applicants get a chance to see what sort of social justice things we do, which I am super proud about because normally we don't invite them, but I think it's really important that we do invite them, especially since it's virtual. They can just pop into Zoom. So I think that's all the stuff I've done for admissions. Children's is going fine. I feel like, well, Children's Hospital is going fine. This is like the next bucket. It's going fine. I started doing more interviews with kids and parents. I basically do pretty much the whole interview at this point, and then if there's any follow-up questions, my supervisor will hop in and ask questions, but I feel like those are going really good. I think that one thing that I feel like I do really, really well there is that I think because I'm young, I'm able to just connect with kids because I'm into anime and I'm into Marvel, I'm into tons of things like musicals and TV and just a wide variety of things. So it makes me really personable, and I'm able to ask the kid hey, what kind of things are you into? If they're like, oh, I kind of like anime, I'm like, oh my gosh, I like anime too. And it helps get the kids comfortable. So that's going really well. And yeah, and then at the autism clinic, things are starting back up. So I have 2 clients right now that we're assessing, and it's just ramping up. So now I'm starting to do interviews with parents at the autism clinic, and I'm just we're just ramping up the amount of testing we're doing, which is really cool. And yeah, I just love working at the autism clinic. I think it is so interesting. And yeah, so this next month is probably just going to be busy with doing assessments and writing and getting those all out the way. I've been really bad about doing my dissertation. I'm just, I don't know, it's not uninspired, it's not unmotivated, it's just I just don't have enough time in the day. And so I'm hoping that once admissions weekends are over, I'll have a little bit more time and flexibility to go to these writing groups and really write. But as of right now, I just don't have the bandwidth to do it. Yeah, I guess just overall, oh, I also got feedback. So our program does student evaluations or student development meetings every year. Well, they do 2 a year, one in January, one in June. And so I got some really harsh feedback from one of my placements, and I felt terrible about it. I felt so bad. I felt it was a misrepresentation of me, and it kind of really pushed me to do a little bit more and go a little harder because I know it's not representative of me. But I just wanted to say that because I don't want people to think that I'm just super good at what I do, when there are other people I've worked with who have given me harsh feedback in the last month. And so I've been dealing with that, and just my overall mental health has been down. I'm just lonely. I don't like being alone, and I think going home was great, but it also just highlighted how alone I am in St. Louis because of the pandemic. And I just have been down, I just not great. Oh, also in the month of January, I got my first dose of the COVID vaccine, which is really great. I didn't really have any side effects. I had a sore arm and I slept amazing for 2 nights in a row, and that's about it. So I get the second dose sometime this month in February. And yeah, so I think I just need to do a better job of prioritizing my time, protecting my time, doing better self-care, having more boundaries. And I think I'm toying around with this idea of taking a break from social media, just because this is gonna sound weird, but sometimes social media is very, very loud to me. I just need some silence in my life. And so I might stop being on social media. I don't really know just yet. Maybe for Lent or something, I'll take some time off of social media because I think I need it. And yeah, I just have a lot of things on my plate that I'm trying to juggle, which is fine. I asked for a lot of things on my plate. I pray to be busy because it helps my mental health, but it just sometimes it feels very chaotic. And so yeah, that's basically the whole month of January. I feel like that was a lot to cover. just because there's been a lot going on. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. If you have any questions about anything I talked about, except for the feedback, I don't think that I will go into that very much more because I'm working to rectify it. And I also want to caveat that feedback and say that this is like my first negative evaluation ever in my life, and so I don't think it's representative of me, and I also think that I'm doing what I can to rectify it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. I know my content has been all over the place, but I'm trying my best to keep everything afloat, and it's just so hard sometimes. So I thank you all for sticking with me. There'll be new content coming out soon. Hope you have a great rest of your Monday. Peace out. I love you all so much. Bye.